Hi guys, my name is Mia Rivers and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video. I usually make vlogs and skits just about my life. This one's going to be a little bit more different just because it's a little bit more of a serious video. I always wanted to make this kind of video for like the longest, but I just don't think I was really ready. Now I'm ready about speaking up and talking about my story. I just want to say that if the things that I say on here is kind of a little bit more triggering, I'll try to use my words very carefully here, but if something slips away, like I understand if it's like really triggering, you can like click out or something. The main reason why I want to make this video is to speak out what I went through. I also want to say that me telling my story, I was really young when this happened and I did not know any better. I don't want you watching this video and be like, what the heck, like why is this woman doing that? Because I really didn't know any better. And this video is not really to bash the person, but to inform about the manipulation, the gaslighting, and just being in a toxic situation. So I always wanted a boyfriend. I don't know why. I think it's usually because like all of my friends had one. I really wanted one in high school, especially in like freshman year and sophomore year. Junior year and senior year, I kind of forgot about it, didn't really care anymore. And then in college, I didn't really care about that either. It's not when I got to LA, because I went to Arizona, to Texas, to LA. When I was about 21, that's when I kind of started and I was just like, I need to put myself out there. Like I was thinking, the reason why I'm not meeting people is I was really shy. I just felt like in order for me to meet people, I have to put myself out there. I have to meet people. So that's what I did. I got a Tinder. I went on a couple of dates. Like I think the first day we went to go get sushi. Second day, we went to the farmer's market. And it was like, we believe like 3 guys and it was just one date. It never went forward after that. Just the one date and that was it. With the Tinder that I was doing on the app, it was a lot of left and right and left and right and a lot of texting. And I just kind of felt like, I didn't really want to do this anymore. It was like a lot going on. But I got a text from this guy. He told me we matched, but I don't remember matching. Like I don't remember swiping right on him at all. And I was literally about to delete the app. Like I was not about to move forward with the app because I was so tired of just the swiping left and right. It was tiring to me, so I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was really going to delete the app. This guy texted me and he said, can you solve this puzzle for me? And he had like these like lines, meaning that he wanted my phone number. So I thought that was pretty clever. And so I gave him my phone number and we started texting from there. I remember looking at his picture on Tinder and I was like, I really don't remember swiping right on him, but he looks okay. I don't really think he's like my type, but like he looks okay and nothing seems wrong with him, but he just wasn't really my type. So I really kind of wasn't wanting to go out with him. But I remember him wanting to go out immediately. He was like, you want to go out this weekend? And I said, sure. But when it got closer to the weekend, I didn't really want to go. I was just like I don't really want to go. So I canceled on him and I said like I had a family emergency, but really I didn't have a family emergency. I just didn't want to go, which is weird. I had this feeling in my stomach that I just did not want to go. I was not going to go. But my friend told me, well, why did you cancel on him? I was like, I don't know why. I just didn't want to go. He's not really my type. I don't see why I have to go. So then he texts me again. He says, well, how about next week? And I was like, okay, this is just the first date, just one date, and then I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing no left and right and swiping left and right and stuff like that. That's just one date and that's it. We go to Starbucks. And I remember when I went to Starbucks, I was really nervous. But when I first saw him, he was really tall. That's like the first thing I saw. But when we sat down and everything else, like he was really chill. I remember him being very laid back. And I that's one of the characteristic that I really like. He was very laid back and was very calm. We started talking about like our dating experience on the apps. We started talking about movies. We started talking about school. It was a nice talk. I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was nice. I never had a bad date. Everything was fine. I got up, we went our separate ways, and that was it. I remember texting him saying thank you for a nice date, and that was about it. Then he texts me, he says I'm gonna go out to the beach next week. And I was like, oh, okay, so this was really different. Now, by this time, I was done with Tinder. Like, I didn't want to go on there anymore or anything like that. But he wanted to go on another date, so I was like, okay, cool. Through that time, months later, we've been to so many dates. We've gone to ice cream, we went to the beach, we went hiking, we went to the Getty, we went to a LACMA situation, we went to the observatory. We've been to so many beaches. I did hookah for the first time with him. Like, it was a nice way. Everything was good for months. And we were getting really serious. relapse too. We actually got, we're exclusive. It was getting serious. And I remember him telling me something. He said, hey, I want to tell you something. It was right after we went on this one date at a restaurant. We got to his car and I remember him saying something to me. And he was like, I want to tell you something. And I was like, okay, what is it? And he was like, well, since we're getting a little bit more serious, I feel like I wanted to tell you about something that happened in school. And I was like, okay, what happened? And he's like, well, when I was in Philadelphia, I got into this situation where this woman said that I sexually assaulted her, but really I didn't. And I was found not guilty. And it was a whole thing. And that's why I got suspended from school and I couldn't go back. So I was like, okay, I'm thinking like we're getting serious. So he wants to tell me what happened in his past, which was totally fine. I understand that. Then later on, he says, I also want to tell you that I have an addiction to alcohol. I don't have it anymore. He said something like, it's not that serious now, but before it was really, really bad. I had to go to the hospital so many times. I was like, okay, like, yeah, like you're telling me the truth. Everything's good. Okay, cool. Everything was good through that time. Soon after, a couple months passed by, he told me that he had to go to an internship in Philadelphia. And I was like, okay. And it was a 3-month internship. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, like you need to do your career. That's totally fine. Go ahead. But I never done long distance. I never done anything. Like this was my first relationship. He wanted to do well, it had to be long distance because what else were we going to do? And I told him, I was like, okay, when you leave, you have to like call me and text me like at least like once a week. I know you're busy and stuff like that. And I'm busy. The only way to make this work is if you connect with me and everything like that. And he's like, okay, yeah, like I'll connect with you. And it started off good. He started texting me and calling me, but then he stopped. Like throughout the month, he stopped calling me. He stopped texting me. And I remember one time I got really mad at him and I was like, why aren't you texting me? Why aren't you calling me? He would say these little smart remarks like, well, you could text me or you could have called me. And I'm like, yeah, but when I do, you don't answer. So what's the point of me calling and texting you when you don't answer? It's probably better for you to call me because I don't know how your schedule is. That doesn't make any sense. I started feeling really, really distant towards him. I started feeling this weird feeling in my stomach. Something was wrong with him. I knew something was wrong. We would have these talks on the phone and he would say things like, well, I don't know if I'm going to go back to LA because he was in banking. So he had a banking job in LA, but he did his internship so he can try to get into this bigger, like his dream job in California. But he had other jobs that he applied for that he didn't really want, and one of the jobs was in Texas. And so he was saying things like, well, I might go to Texas, I don't know. And me being naive and young, well, I'll move into Texas with you. Like, I don't care. If I'm gonna make this work, I'm gonna try to do everything I can to make it work. So we talked about that for a moment of time, but still feeling distant. I think I said that because I felt really distant towards him. But one day I was working and he texts me and he says, the reason why I haven't been calling or texting you is because I relapsed. I'm in the hospital. I don't know really what happened. It just happened. I've been drinking for months now. It just got it got out of hand. I need help and everything like that. So as the loyal girlfriend that I bought a plane ticket, $1,000+ to go visit him in Philadelphia to help him out, basically, because his family didn't go to see him. His friends didn't go to see him. So I went over there and I was going over there to take care of him. I remember like talking to a coworker and I was like, I'm gonna have to go and visit him over there. So I went all the way over there and I got a hotel and everything. He was supposed to stay in the hospital for 2 more days. This man signed something to get out the hospital. And the doctors told him not to get out the hospital, but he did it anyway, just because I guess he wanted to see me. I told him, I was like, no, like I'll come see you at the hospital. You don't have to come see me. I'll come see you. But he didn't care. He didn't want to be in there anyway. Signed the thing and the doctor told him, he was like, okay, but you do know that this is very dangerous. Like you can't do that, but he did it anyway. So he saw me at the hotel. Like I said, I've never had an alcoholic friend. I've never had an alcoholic family member. So I don't know anything about alcohol in that sense. I don't know anything about the attraction to alcohol. I don't know anything. So he's telling me that he can't go cold turkey from alcohol. He has to taper himself off. That's what the hospital was doing. But since he got out and now he's with me, he had a higher chance of having a seizure or just like dying or something. And so I'm sitting there like, what? And he's like, yeah, I could have a seizure, like, whatever, but I'm feeling okay. Like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. I took care of him as much as I could. I got up in the middle of the night and got him food. I got up and got Gatorade multiple times in the middle of the night. I would listen to his heart when he was sleeping to make sure that his heart rate wasn't like increasing. I would wake him up in the middle of the night if he had a nightmare because he would shake. He would have these shakes. He would just start shaking. And I think because he was withdrawing, but he would just start shaking and shaking, like tensing up. Later that night, he got a phone call from his mom, and he said, oh, I have to take this. So he got out from the room and he closed the door. And his mom was like, where are you? Where are you? And he's like, well, I'm out the hospital. And she's like, well, why are you out the hospital? Like, you should stay in there. Like, the doctor told you have to stay in there. And he's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm with a friend. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, a friend? And I'm thinking like, why did he say that? And I was just very confused on why he said a friend. I don't know. I just didn't think anything of it. And I was like, all right, that's kind of weird, but okay. He goes back in the room, and I didn't like say anything. I didn't confront him because I'm thinking, all right, well, I did feel some type of way about it though. I remember like us like going to bed. I said something about a relationship. I think the reason why I said something about a relationship was because of the whole friend thing, and it kind of bothered me. So I think I said something about somehow making our relationship stronger or something like that, along the lines of that. And I remember him getting really mad at me, and he's yelling at me, and he's like, I have to think about myself, and I have to be by myself, and I can't do this relationship stuff. It's like, you're doing way too much, and and I'm like, what? And at that night, I just like didn't say anything. I was so shocked about him raising his voice at me. I didn't say anything. I just kind of just like sat there, and I was crying, but like silently. I remember him turning, and he looked at me and he said, are we still okay? Like, are we still like good? And I'm like, I don't know. Cause I really wanted to break up with him that day. So the next day, I had a flight going back to LA, and I think he got better and went back to his internships. And then he was in Philadelphia, and then he got back from LA. I remember him saying that he was sorry for raising his voice at me, that he would do better, that won't happen again, and I believed him, and I said, okay. Later on, he got the job that he really wanted, the banking job that he really, his dream job that he got it, and he was going to start in January. Around this time, this was in almost December, so he got the job, and I was really happy for him. I was like, good, like, you got the job, your life is like, your career is like building up, like, this is a really nice thing, like I'm happy for him, you know? So he wanted to go on a trip for New Year's. We talked about going on a trip, like something small, like San Diego or something like that. He's like, you know what? I really want to go on a trip. Like, we should like go to Miami. And I was like, I don't know about Miami. He's like, well, what about Las Vegas? And I was like, yeah, I could do Las Vegas. Like, it'll be fun. It's like my first trip with my boyfriend and things like that. I buy my ticket. He buys his ticket. We go get the hotel and everything like that. And we're going to Las Vegas for New Year's. We both get there. We're both excited. I did think about his drinking. I was thinking like, how is this going to work out? But he's better now. He's better. Like, he stopped drinking. He had this one mix up, but it's fine. He won't ever do that again. Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, he won't ever do that. He's good. He's fine. I remember going to the receptionist, the hotel that we're staying at in Las Vegas. I didn't know this, but they wanted a $600 down payment. And I didn't know this. And so I'm thinking like $600. He's like, yeah, but you'll get it back. And I'm like, okay. So I put the $600 down. I would like to say that he didn't have a lot of money at the time, mainly because he was going to start his job in January and he was going to be making like 6 figures there. So he was kind of low a little bit on money, which I'm not sure how much he had. He could be lying or something like that, but that's what he told me. Everything was fine. We went to the Sphere, and I did tell him too. I was like, hey, like, are you okay with like drinking? Like I'm not a big drinker. Like, I don't have to drink. He's like, no, I want you to have fun. You can drink. Like, it's fine. Like, it won't bother me at all. Like, it won't bother me at all. So I'm like, okay, fine. Like, you're saying it won't bother you. Like, it's fine. Okay. We go to the Sphere, and I remember we go to this sugar place, like this drinking sugar place. And I remember going there, and I ordered a drink, and it had like candy and stuff like that. I thought it was really like fun. And I started drinking it, but I didn't finish it because it was like this big fish bowl of a drink, of alcoholic drink. So I didn't finish it. It was good, but I just didn't finish it. So while he's talking to me, he grabs my drink and starts drinking it. I didn't say like, what are you doing? But I just forgot about it. I was like, okay, like, he's drinking, but he doesn't seems fine to me. Like, I didn't think anything of it. So that day, the next day, I forgot other things that we were doing. We were like going to the mall, we're going to the strip, we're hanging around there. We're just having a good time. Everything was fine. Later on, he started acting weird. Like, he started like being loud and like obnoxious and doing things that were really, really weird. And I would sit there like, what is he doing? Or why is he acting like that? I remember he would tell me to please, like stay here. And he would go to the store and then come back. And I didn't know what that was about. And I was like, he go to the store so many times. Or he would say like, stay here. And he would go back to the hotel room and then he would come back. And I thought that was weird too. The next morning, he said, hey, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, what? He's like, I've been drinking this whole time, like really, really bad. He opened up the refrigerator and all the drinks in the refrigerator are gone. All the alcoholic drinks in the refrigerator was gone. And he was stuffing the bottles, his suitcase, or under the bed or something. And so I remember looking at him like, what? He's like, yeah, I've been drinking again. And you know, it's okay though. I can stop anytime. Like it's totally fine. And I believed him. I said, okay, like if you're saying that you can stop anytime, like I guess you can stop. Are you sure you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I felt like once he knew that I knew that he was drinking and I was so-called okay with it, he started acting up really, really bad. He was going downstairs. He was gambling like all his money. He was taking my money and gambling it. He was like drinking, like drink. I was just like, are you sure you okay? He was like, yeah, I'm fine, you know, blah, 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 blah. The next day, I wanted to go to this museum thing in Las Vegas. I love museums. So it was like this little cute museums and like you can like write down like your picture and it can be like on the wall. And I thought it was really cute. He gets up, sloppy drunk. He goes downstairs, drinks some more. And while he's drinking, he's telling me that like, oh, like you're such a blessing to me. Like you've stuck by me all this time. Like, you know, all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like, of course, like I'm with you. But he was just like, you know, I'll stop drinking. I'll stop when it's the right time. I'll stop. So he's drinking in the morning, early in the morning. He's drinking in the afternoon. And I believe like our date that we had to go was around like 3 o'clock or something. We take an Uber to this place and we go, it was like inside the mall, like the place that I needed to go to was inside the mall. So we were inside the mall and I'm trying to find this place. I'm really, really bad with directions. So I'm trying to find this place. I'm trying to find this place and he's grabbing my arm and he's like yelling at me. And he was like, come here. He's like tugging on my arm. And he's telling me to come here. And I'm like, what is your issue? He was just like, why are you walking away from me? Loud. Why are you walking away from me? Why are you turning away from me? What are you walking so fast for? And I'm like, I'm trying to find this place. We were supposed to be here at 3 and it's like 2:58 and we're not even close to the spot yet. Like, why are you yelling at me? And so he's screaming at me and yelling at me and pulling my arm. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like I walked out and I found the place myself and I did the whole museum by myself. I got back. I remember him calling me, FaceTiming me, and he's like drunk in the Uber. And I was just like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm like, okay, whatever. He goes back to the hotel. He locks me out the freaking hotel. So I had to go find or get another key and come back inside. So he like blacked out. He slept through the whole time. Mind you, the room was disgusting. Like, he had his pants everywhere, beer bottles everywhere, alcohol bottles I haven't even seen him buy, like tequila shots and everything everywhere. So he's just laid up on the bed, just like laid up. And the next day was supposed to be New Year's Eve. So our plan was that we were going to go downstairs and like party a little bit, and he wanted to go to the bar. So he went to the bar and, but I would like to say that sometimes he was like nice and sometimes he was mean. So I would think like, okay, so sometimes when he's drinking, he's not like a mean person, but then sometimes when he's drinking a certain amount, that's when he starts getting rowdy and starts yelling and starts like putting your hands on people. But he was drinking a lot on New Year's Eve, just drinking and drinking and drinking. And I wasn't drinking, like I was barely, doing anything. And it was getting nighttime and we were going to see the fireworks at night. And I remember I was getting dressed and he was like, why won't you drink? And I was like, I don't really want to. And he takes like this big cup and he pours some tequila in it or something. He was like, drink this. And I was like, no, I'm not drinking that. He's like, drink it now, like drink it right now. He's like forcing me. I can tell like he's really, really drunk at point. And I'm like, no, like I don't drink like that. Like that's not something that I do. I don't chug drinks like that. He's like, why won't you drink it? Drink it now. So he's putting Fanta in it and he's shoving it in my mouth. Like he's shoving it in my mouth and like making me drink it. Like he's putting his hands on me and he's chugging, he's telling me to drink the drink. So I'm drinking a little bit. And I'm like, this is not something I drink. I don't drink this stuff. So he's like, drink it now, drink it now. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm about to throw up myself. Like, I can't drink it. So he like chugs it himself. He's like, okay, let's go downstairs then. So we go downstairs. He's drinking some more. We see the fireworks and we get tired. So we go back to the room. When we go back to the room, I don't know why, but he's screaming at me bad again. He's saying things like, you think you're better than me? You think you're all that? Who do you think you are? You know, you think you're all that? You think you're better than me? And I'm like sitting there, I'm taking my shoes off. I'm like taking off my makeup. I'm like, I'm not even listening to this dude because like, I don't even know what he's talking about. And he's like, what do you think you're better than me? Huh? You think you're all that? What would you do without me? You can't even like live without me. He would say things like that. And I was like looking straight. I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't doing anything. I was just like changing. I was taking off my makeup, taking off my jewelry. Like I'm trying to get ready for bed. So he's yelling at me, who do you think you are? And then he starts crying. And then he starts saying things like, I'm a loser. I would never get better. Guys, I'm literally like changing my stuff and I'm looking at him like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you talking about? So he's continued yelling at me. And I guess I wasn't looking at him the way that he wanted me to look at him because he told me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And so I didn't look at him. And then he just like, I didn't even know it happened, but he just like hit me. I remember like looking up at him and I'm just like, okay, he's drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to get better like he says. This is just going to pass. I remember getting up and like screaming at him, saying something like what the heck are you doing? Like, leave me alone. And he just like gets in the bed and like goes to sleep. I get in the bed and I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, like I cannot wait to get out of here. I cannot wait to just like leave because this is just not good. And he's in the bed and he's drunk, but he's saying things like, you know, you deserve to be with a millionaire. And I was like, what? He was like, you deserve to be with a millionaire. And I'm just a loser right now. And I'm just not going to get better. And I remember just sitting there just crying. I was crying and crying and crying. And I was watching this one podcast and this woman was talking and she says, when the devil feels like you're about to leave, he tries to reel you in even stronger. And he's laying in the bed and he says, I love you. And I remember hearing that and I said, well, I love you too. And he goes on and he was like, I want to get better. I want to get better. And I was like, I want you to get better too. We both go to sleep. He's trying to find this alcohol bottle that I hid behind my purse. And he gets up and he's like grabbing all this stuff and he's like pulling all these clothes and trying to find his alcohol bottle. And I said, are you trying to find the alcohol bottle that's behind my purse? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to find this. So he gets up and he tries to get like back in the bed. And I said, hey, I had a dream about you. The dream that I had was him starting his new job and he's been in there for a while and him getting caught drinking and him getting fired and losing everything. That's the dream that I had. I told him, I said, hey, I had a dream about you. And he was like, what was the dream about? And I told him, I said, because you lost your job. And he was like, no, I didn't. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. And that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna get better. I'm like, okay, but I'm telling you that you lost everything. That's the dream that I had. And that's all I can tell you. The next day we fly back to California. He was drinking on the plane. He was drinking in the airport. He was telling me, he was like, well, the only way that I would have to get off from drinking is I had to taper myself off and I'll get better. And I said, okay. When we got to California, he calls me and he says, in order for me to get better, I have to taper myself off. So I need you to go get me some alcohol. And I said, okay. And I was like, all right, well, this is the only time to get better. Like, you're saying that you want to start your new job. I found myself helping him to start his job the next week because he started his job on a Monday. And I was like, I'm going to help you get right. I'm going to help you get better. He lived with his grandma. His grandma was on vacation, believe like in Hawaii or something like that. He was just staying by himself in his grandma's house. So he told me, he was like, go get some alcohol, like some White Claws. Yes, that's what it was, White Claws. He wanted me to get something very soft, like some White Claws, so he can taper himself off with the White Claws. Which makes sense because you can't go cold turkey when you're drinking, so it makes sense. I remember pulling up to his grandma's house. He opens the door and everything in there was dark. All I see, it was this black figure, just a black figure. And I was hesitant. I was like, what? Should I even walk inside here? Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, he was kind of scaring me a little bit, but I was like, he's like, come, like, give me the alcohol, like, come over. So I come in, I give it to him. I walk inside and everything was dark. Like, I don't know why he had it so dark in there. But the only spot that wasn't dark was his room. He had the light in there. And he just like lays in bed. And I'm thinking that he's gonna crack open one of those White Claws and drink the White Claw. But instead, he goes into like the living room, because the living room had a bar, and he cracks open a big bottle of liquor. So then I'm thinking, what's going on here? You told me to bring you this freaking alcohol that's going to taper yourself off, but then you switch up and you're chugging a big jug of liquor. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not taping yourself off, that's making it worse. So he's chugging this big thing, and then he's looking at me again. He's like, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? And I was like, what? Like, I came over here to give you some freaking alcohol so you can taper yourself off, like something soft. What happened was, but when I was looking at him like this, and he didn't like the way I was looking at him. So then he starts like screaming at me, and now he's chasing me in the house. It was a big couch that's in the living room, and he's chasing me. I'm running away from him. He's like, come here right now. And I'm like, no, I'm scared. And I'm like rushing, like to try to get away from him. When I got inside, I dropped my duffel bag, my keys, and my phone in his room. So I walk in his bedroom to try to get my stuff, and he pins me down on the bed. And he starts shaking me in the bed, like shaking me. And I'm telling him, get off of me. And he's pinning me down. And then like he looks at me, and then he says, open your legs. And I'm like, open my legs? Like, what the heck are you talking about? In my mind, I'm thinking like, this dude is just drunk, so he doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't know what he was doing in Vegas. He doesn't know what he was doing now. It's like, I don't even know. So he's shaking me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is freaking crazy. And I'm like, I wasn't scared that he was going to do something to me, sexually assault me, because he was so drunk. How could you? Like, at this point, but he was really strong. I can remember him being really strong. So when I looked at him and I was like, are you serious? Like, you're going to do that to me? I slid under his legs. And mind you, I've never been to this house, so I don't even know where that way out. I'm trying to run while I have my Apple Watch. I'm clicking 911 on my Apple Watch, and he gets me again and pins me up again. And I'm trying to call Apple Watch. He doesn't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm trying to dial 911 on my Apple Watch. They answer, but I hear her saying something like, ma'am, and I'm like, get off of me. I slid under again, and I ran up that stairs, and I got out the door. I ended the call, or somehow it got ended or got disconnected or something. And I'm outside, and I'm sitting there, and I'm out of breath. I'm breathing. He comes out, and he goes, what are you doing outside? Like, come back inside. He's nice to me now. Come back inside. And I'm like, no. Like, mind you, my keys and my phone is there. And the reason why, if you guys ever have an Apple Watch, it connects to your phone, but you can pay $10 for it to work without your phone, which I wish I did, because in that situation, I really needed my Apple Watch. So he's fine now. He's like, I won't do that again. I won't chase you. I'll be good. I needed my key. So I go back inside, and I said, you better like chill the F out. He just on the floor, blacks out. I'm grabbing my duffel bag. I'm putting all my stuff in there. I'm getting my phone, and I keep getting the call from the police. And so at this point, I'm thinking he's chill now. He's not doing anything. I just ended the call. And then the police comes, but the police doesn't come to our door. He comes to the neighbor's door. So he's knocking on the neighbor's door saying, hey, we got a call. We just want to make sure everything's okay. And his eyes like got big, and he was looking like, whoa, like, you called the police? And I was like, yeah, because you weren't acting right. You were acting crazy. And he's like, don't call the police on me. I'm a black man. What they're going to do to me if I start my new job next week, and it's not going to look good if I start my new job next week and you call the police. And I'm like, okay. The police is not coming here, and I'm getting scared. And the police is not coming here. It's fine. So the police doesn't come there. The police walks away. I'm about to leave. I think he either knew that I was going to leave or something like that, and he starts going ballistic again. Now this time he's talking about how he's going to end his life, and how he was going to do something, and that he was a loser, and that he was talking, his stomach was hurting. So he's holding his stomach. Oh, my stomach. It's painful. Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. So I call the ambulance. They come downstairs, and now he's cussing out the ambulance. The guys that's trying to help him. He's like, F you, get the F out of my place. Get the F out of here. And I'm crying, and I'm telling him like, just get better. Like, stop doing this. He's like, why would you call them on me? And what's wrong with you? And but I'm just like, I'm trying to help you. At this point, I knew, I was like, I gotta get out of here. When he was passed out, I tried praying for him, but he wasn't listening. So I get out and I felt worried because he did say that he was going to do something to himself, hurt himself. And I didn't want to leave knowing that he was going to hurt himself. So I called his mom. His mom didn't answer. I called his sister. His sister didn't answer. Next day I had to go to work. His sister texts me saying like, hey, what's up? So I tell her about what's been going on with him. And she's like, oh my God, he's going through this again. And I said, like, how long has he been dealing with this? He said for 8 years. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, I didn't know. And she's like, oh my gosh, he has so many demons. You have to like leave him alone. Like, he will never get better. He won't never change. This is a thing that he keeps dealing with. Like, you have to like get out of there. Did not listen. I really thought that I could change him because not only that I was dealing with trying to get him better with this new job, and like he was telling me stories about how his other girlfriends left him. And I was thinking, well, maybe I'm a strong person and I stick with him with everything. He would change, because I'm thinking like, this guy cannot keep drinking like this. Like, there's no way that he would like keep drinking like this. I also was dealing with other stuff with like family members. They were saying things like, well, if he really loved you, then he would change. I had other family members telling me that, well, this could be your husband. So if this is like the father of your kids, then like you should probably like help him out. So I thought that I had to do what I had to do to help him. So he texted me again. He's like, I'm actually getting a lot better. And he sounded better. Like, he sounded like himself. I need you to come over. And I'm like really hearing a lot of voices. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I come there again. This time I can tell he was a little bit more better. And he was drinking the White Claws that I gave him. So he's talking. He was saying like, I want to get better. I want to get better. I'm so sorry that happened to me. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I'm so sorry. And like, that would never happen again. And I'm like, okay, just don't ever do it again. Just don't ever do it again. Like, you're fine. Don't ever do it again. We're laying in bed. He's going to sleep because he said that it's better for him to have another person because the voices like kept like talking to him. I'm in the bed with him and we're talking. He goes, do you hear that? And I'm like, you're what? Like, that noise that's outside. And I'm like, no, I don't hear any noise. I don't hear anything. He's like, no, like I hear it. I said, well, what do you hear? And he's like, the neighbors are talking about me. Yeah, they're talking about me. And I'm like, what? Like, they're talking about you? What are they saying? He said, they're saying that I'm going to go to jail. They're saying that I'm a bad person. They're saying that I'm going to go to jail. Oh my gosh, they're saying I'm going to go to jail. And he gets up and he's like, they're saying I'm going to go to jail. They're saying I'm going to jail. I said, calm down, calm down, calm down. You're not going to go to jail. You're not going to go to jail. He's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm like, calm down, calm down. So he has headphones in. I'm telling him to lay down, go to sleep. I spent hours just talking to him, trying to outweigh the voices that was in his head. Just talking to him and talking to him, like waiting for him to go to sleep. He goes to sleep finally. Then the next day, I'm like, we have to go to church. Like, I'm thinking like, if you're going to change, you're going to have to go to church. We get up. He threw up on the floor, cleaned that up. We take him to church. He didn't want to go to church. He spent like 5 minutes there. He got out and he was like, I don't want to be in here. But okay. His grandmother was coming soon. She was in a vacation. I think she was coming like the next day. But for some weird reason, his grandmother was very strict. You see her picture, she looks like a very strong, black, older woman that didn't play any games. So for some reason, when he found out that she was coming the next day, he was like, can you help me clean up? Like, for some reason, he went from ballistic to better. For some weird reason. Like, he was just like, we gotta clean up. We took all the alcohol bottles, drove to a dumpster, dumped it over there, cleaned everything, cleaned up his throw up, cleaned all the dishes, cleaned his room to make sure everything was good, since he was like better now, whatever, because his grandma was coming. We didn't see each other that whole week, and he started his job on Monday. Soon I started talking to him, he didn't want to talk to me. He was talking to me like I was a new person. I'm thinking like, why are you acting like that? And he was like, hey, I think we should take a break because I feel like we've been with each other all the time. And I was okay. Now he's off the alcohol. I'm thinking everything's better now. Everything's good. Like, there's no problem. He goes over. He doesn't want to talk to me. He's saying things like, oh, well, I feel like a bad person for all the things that I did for you. I'm like, you're better now, right? You stopped drinking. You're better now. Just move on. You're better now. He's going to his AA meetings. He's better. Like, I don't see what the problem is now. Like, I don't see what the problem is. You're better. You stopped drinking. You got everything you want. You got your family. You got your friends. You got a girlfriend that loves you. You know, I don't see what the problem is. I forgive you. We're done. Let's pass by. Let's get this ball moving. We're done. So he tries to make it better. And I remember one time he invited me to his friend's party or whatever. We go there, and I remember him like picking up a drink, and he was gonna drink it, and I said like, you don't even know what that is. And he was like, oh well, yeah, you're right, I don't know what it is. And so I drunk it with him, and I was like, I drunk it for him, and I was like, this has alcohol in it, what are you doing? But I felt like he knew that it had alcohol in it, but for some reason, like, I don't know, like he wanted it or something. The next week we go on another date. We at the park, we're just chilling at the park, and I'm thinking everything's fine, everything's good, all the past stuff is behind me, and he was gonna drive me back home. I go in his car, I said, hey, can we get Chipotle? And he's yelling at me. I'm thinking in my head, like, why are you yelling at me when you're sober? Like, you're good. He's yelling at me, and he's saying things like, oh my gosh, like, why do I have to take you to Chipotle? And oh my gosh, Chipotle's so far, and look up the directions, look it up, look it up. I'm looking up the instructions to get there, and I drove him to the wrong one. He's screaming at me, and I like wanted to cry. And he was, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm yelling at you. I'm just like, sorry. So he drops me off, and for some reason I felt a disconnect from him. And one day at my job, he texts me, he says, can we meet up tonight? And I'm like, okay. And I knew something's bad's gonna happen. I go in his car, I have my work clothes on. He says, hey, I don't think we should do this. I think we should break up. And I was like, what? Like, break up? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I don't think this is a good thing. Like, I don't think that we should be together. I'm really angry. I don't know why I'm angry. And I was just like, okay, like, and I felt weird. It was like a weird feeling in my stomach. I felt good that was happening, but then I felt bad that it was happening. I remember getting out of his car. He unfollowed me on Instagram. I talked to one of my friends, but it felt weird. I felt relief, but I felt heartbroken at the same time. I was going out to drinks with a friend on a Saturday, because I think this happened on like Friday or something. I went out with one of my friends, and I got really, really drunk, and I remember her asking me, whatever happened with so-and-so? And I said, we just broke up like yesterday. And I was drinking. I think I had like 5 drinks or whatever. And I was super, super drunk, and I just started crying. I remember just started crying. I took an Uber back, and I just started crying, and I started texting him saying like, I'm so sorry, and please take me back, and oh my gosh, I don't know what I did wrong. And he was texting me saying like, we just need some time, like, it's okay. I didn't tell anyone that we broke up, but it really felt like he took my heart and just like took it out. And I'm thinking about how stupid it was, because I'm thinking like, this guy literally treated me like crap. Like, I don't understand why I'm feeling like this. Why do I feel like I miss him so much? Why do I feel like I need him? Why do I feel like this? So it felt like I was like ripped, and I'm crying and I'm crying and I'm crying and I'm crying and I'm crying. I remember just starting to get a little bit more better. We haven't been talking for a long time. So then he texted me again. He says, hey, I've been doing a lot better. Let's go out. So I'm like, all right, let's go out. We go out to this restaurant, and I'm thinking like, he's talking about how much he changed and that we can like start on our relationship back again and everything else. And I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, we're fine. We're good. We go to this restaurant, this rooftop bar, and I'm thinking in my head like, why are we here? And I'm driving. Oh, he says, oh, you can order whatever you want. I ordered a Sprite. This dude orders a freaking rum and coke. So I'm like, what the heck? We're sitting there, and I'm looking at him like, my eyes are bugged out, and I'm looking at him like, what the heck? And he's like, what? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, this is not good. I said, this is not good. I said, what are you doing? I said, all this stuff we went through, with you hallucinating, with you chasing me, in the room, with the police, and you in the ambulance, and you with everything else. Why are you drinking again? And he's like, well, I'm always going to be an alcoholic, and and even if we have a kid together, she's just going to have, or he or she's just going to have like an alcoholic dad. It doesn't matter. And I cannot wrap my head around. So I get up and I walk out. He's walking towards me. He's screaming at me again and yelling at me again. And he's like, look at me. The same words that he was saying in Las Vegas. Look at me, and da 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 da. He's grabbing my arm again. He's yelling at me in the car again. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, what am I doing? Why do I keep doing this? Like, I'm thinking that he's going to change, and he's not changing. I'm thinking that things are going to get better, and things are not getting better. Like, what is the issue here? Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with me? And throughout this whole relationship, it was like a lot of off and on. Like, I'm thinking that he's going to get better. I'll get back with him, and he's not getting better. There were times when he was drunk in my car, and he was peeing in beer bottles, and I was pouring him out outside because he couldn't go with his grandma, because the grandma was going to kick him out if he knew that he was drinking. He told me stories that he told me, and I was just like, okay, if I dealt with that, the same situation that you were in, I would not be doing the same thing again. He told me that he went to hell. He told me that he was homeless. That he told me that a homeless person tried to rape him. He told me that he was homeless for weeks. He told me that he was throwing up blood, that he was pooping up blood. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to still do this kind of thing if you feel like this? Like, in my eyes, I'm thinking, why aren't you getting better? He's told me a bunch of times that he would drive drunk sometimes. He told me that that at his job that he would put alcohol in his cup and drink it at work. He wouldn't care. He was getting 6 figures at this job and he wouldn't care. He told me so many lies. He told me so many names. When we first met, he told me he met his last girlfriend, or he broke up with his last girlfriend a year ago. It was 2 weeks ago. That's why when we were in the hotel, he told his mom that I was his friend because he knew he shouldn't have been in a relationship. He told me so many lies. He's told me that, about the whole thing about his girlfriend, his second girlfriend, that they broke up 2 weeks ago, and then he just met me. So he didn't even have time to actually grasp the information and grasp him being alone. There's just so many times that he would go off and on with alcohol. He was in the hospital again. He was throwing up blood again. He was going to call the police on his grandma because his grandma took his car, and I had to beg him not to call the police on his grandma. So many stories. And I was just hooked on him. I don't know what it was. I was just hooked. And I wanted to be with him, and I wanted to fix him. And I really thought that once he got this job, and once he start going to church, and once he went to AA meetings, that he would change, but nothing changed. Nothing. Not even one thing. Not one thing changed about him. He would get sober for a minute, and then he would just go right back to square one. I dealt with a lot with him, and I think I really had to sit there and think. I said, because I needed to change. I was like, I don't know why I'm hooked with him. Why I'm yearning for him. I remember I was talking to God, and I was doing some thinking, and I was like, why do I feel why do I feel like this? Why am I with this person, and why was I with this person for so freaking long? And I was doing some thinking, and I was like, there's a lot of people in my family, or the people around me, that are not in really good relationships. I never seen a relationship that I looked at and I said, I want that kind of relationship ever in my life. Never looked at a relationship that I liked. Grandparents, none of that. I never looked at a relationship that I wanted, that I liked. And between those relationships that I saw, something was always wrong with the person. And I know everyone has flaws and things like that, but at church, there was couples a man that was cheating on their wives constantly, and the women just kept going back to them, and the women just kept coming back and taking them back. And I was young. This is my first relationship, so I'm growing up. I'm looking like, oh, this is normal. Things happen like that. It's normal to have a problem, and you keep going back. So in my eyes, I'm thinking this is okay. And it's not helping me when a family member's in my ear are telling me, well, if he loves you, he would change. And this is the father of your kids. You have to help him and things like that. This is not helping me. This is not helping me get over this guy. So yes, I do take accountability for what I did because I kept going back to him. And I have so many numerous stories about him that I can't even fit, because this video was longer than an hour probably, but I don't know if I'm gonna chop it up into 2. I was really messed up. I had to go on the fast. I fasted for about a week. No social media, no TV, no food for a week. I prayed the whole time, and I just asked God to bring me peace, to break every soul tie, because I knew he wanted better for me. This is how I thought about it. If God didn't give the right person to someone else, what makes me think that he was going to give me a really good person for me? And I think that's why I kept going back, because I was like, well, he's not perfect, but hey, everyone else is not perfect anyway, so I would have to go back. And I just really thought I had to show him that I loved him, show him that I was with him, so he would change, but he never changed. And I had to believe and trust God that he was going to give me something bigger. I had to trust God that he was going to give me the man that I wanted. I had to literally trust him because I didn't know. And I'm looking at everyone else's relationships around me and I'm just like, they're not that great, but I guess it works for them. So I'm thinking, well, this might work for me. But it never brought me peace. And God is peace. And he never brought me peace. That man never brought me peace. I was always stressed out. I was always tired, worried. And it just that every day I was worried and tired and everything. And then one day I just broke it off and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is just not healthy for me. I'm worrying. I'm pacing back and forth. I can't think straight. Like, this is just not healthy. I remember being with my friend and I was going to church with her. And I was telling her that I was still fasting because I was feeling better. I don't know why. I was fasting and praying and I was feeling a lot better. She was like, well, when are you going to stop fasting? When are you going to start eating again? And I said, I don't know. And she said, Mia, I don't think this is a healthy thing for you to stop eating and keep going. And she, sorry, I don't want to cry. And I said, well, I feel like if I stop doing this, then the feelings of me yearning for him is going to come back. And she said, that's just because you don't trust him. And I looked at her and I said, yeah, I don't trust him. And she said, you have to trust him. You have to keep praying. You have to trust him. And so that's what I did. I kept praying. I trusted him. And I literally feel so great right now. I feel so good. I'm literally like, I feel so good. I know there's better things out for me. Better, bigger opportunities. A relationship that actually fits me. And I can't stop looking at everyone else's relationship and think like, well, comparing me to them or anything like that. I know for my next relationship, it's just going to be me and God because I don't think it was healthy for me to input my family and my friends into my relationship because they were also giving me wrong information and things that were in my ear that I'm thinking that it was okay, but really it wasn't. Even when I was dealing with that, the only person I felt that I could tell was my sister. My sister helped me a lot in that situation. And I didn't really know where to really turn to, but like my sister. Because either everyone was either judging me or telling me things that just wasn't right. My sister really helped me. And that's another thing too. I don't ever want to judge someone from going back to their exes a bunch of times or whatever. And people think, oh girl, you're stupid or da-da-da. You don't know what they're going through. Because with what I was seeing growing up and what I experienced in the church sometimes and what people were telling me and me being this is my first relationship and me being young, I didn't know any better. There were so many red flags and there were so many things I should have left, but I'm thinking I have to stay strong. I have to keep this relationship going. I've tried myself putting him anonymously on certain websites and things like that just to warn other people. I did warn this one woman that I mysteriously met. I don't know why. I felt like God was telling me to warn this person, and I did. And he was kind of about to do the same thing that he did to me to this other woman. I warned her and she said, thank you. Like, you're like literally like, she called me the guardian angel because I felt it in my stomach. I kid you not. I was online and I typed up her name and I have to warn her, and I did. And I just felt amazing. This man was really dangerous. Something was really wrong with him. I believe he had like so many demons inside of him. He would even call himself God sometimes. I remember sitting there and I was like teaching him about the Bible and teaching him about God. And he was telling me, he was looking at me and he was like, do you think I will go to heaven? And I looked at him and I said, do you think you're going to go to heaven? Like, I can't tell you if you're going to go to heaven or not, but do you think you're going to go to heaven? And he looks at me, he's like, Yeah, I think I'll go to heaven. I think I'll go to heaven. I think that if you were to answer, you would know that I would go to heaven. And I'm just looking at him like, okay, if that's what you believe, if that's what you think, like he would call himself God all the time, that he feels like God, that he is God. And I believe he thinks that because there were so many doctors that told him that he was going to die by the amount of alcohol he had in his system, but he has not died yet. He drinks at work, he's fine, hasn't lost his job. He still has all his money. He still has his nice apartment. He still has his friends and his family around him. So he thinks that he's God since he has all this stuff around him, and he says that he's God and whatever the case may be. But I'm so happy that I'm out of that situation. I just want to tell you guys that if you are in this situation like me, seek God, open your heart, trust him, and get out of there. He has so much bigger things in front of you. He has so many plans, so many goals that he wants to give you, that he wants to show you. But he can't give those things to you because you're still holding on to something that's not right. And once I let that go, once I said, this is not benefiting me, this man is not benefiting me, I'm not getting anything from this relationship, this is not going anywhere, I'm messing myself up, I'm messing my sanity up, I'm messing my health and everything else, I need to get out of here. This guy is not changing. As many times as I went back, I just couldn't do it anymore. At all. I couldn't do it anymore. Him putting his hands on me, I couldn't do it no more. Him yelling at me, I couldn't do it no more. Him manipulating me and saying how much he cared about me and loved me, that's not love, that's not care. I don't know what it is, but I don't want it anymore. That's what it was. I did not want it anymore. And I am so glad I'm out of there. I'm so glad. I am so happy. And I forgive him. I think that's one thing that set me free is that I forgave him. I'm not mad at him anymore. I forgave him and I want to move on. And once I told God that, I just felt better. I felt good. I don't care. I don't think about him. I forget. Literally when I was telling you the story, I had to remember. I was like, wait, what happened again? I had to relive it because I couldn't really remember it because I was kept talking to you guys and I was really trying to remember everything that happened because I forgave him. I don't have any hate towards him at all. I'm not mad at him anymore. And I came to the conclusion that he just hates women. He don't like me. He hates me. He hates every woman. There's so many other things too that I haven't told you about, but he just hates women. And sometimes I even thought he was gay or something because he treated his homeboys better than he treated me half the time. But like I said, I forgive him. I'm not mad anymore. I'm good. I think this video is way too long though. Thank you guys for watching this if you got to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much. And I hope this video helped you. I hope you got something from this video. Thank you for listening to my story. God loves you. Bye-bye.